That's Dragon. Wow. Now I'm all verklempt, you guys. I'll be good now. I'll be good. I promise. After a lifetime of not being good, I know what being good is now. Well, I'm happy to be here at Globe New Superior for this rendition of featured focus artist from KTWH. And I'm going to play you some dance tunes off my next record. Now he's seen the might of fright, he still loves the morning light shining down on him from up above. He wonders what is right, he sings to end his night, though he knows what tomorrow never brings. Folks say he's a-going nowhere, and that he doesn't care. You know you gotta quit the drink, she says, or else you'll just continue to sink. She says, all wrapped up in his own twist of fate. She hears him coming in late. She knows he's been out playing in the rain. She only says no greed, no envy, no hate. Folks say he's a-going nowhere, and that he doesn't care. Some grip the reins of life and ride them hard, fully all accepted roots and branch endowed. Spare not the spur, no crop, throw blood and bruise, corral all scrapes and scalps in harrowed hues. To gun and guard locked bars and some entombed, once free allowed only escape, sick assumed. Some rise, though seldom sense growing space within. Funny how a slim chance squeezes light through bar-scarred skin. When water-wielded walker, what a feat! Confined flat back once rose to float on soul as Rome nailed down death's dues across beams bore. True freedom always sculpts surrender into form, and all angels do not rest above man's Mars. A few descend to leave their mark in scars. A few descend to leave their mark in scars. There you go. That one's called Might of Fright. That's off the next record, which is it's going to be called Angels for Outlaws. It'll be done this spring, finally. After 3 years, I know a lot of you have been waiting for it, but it will be done. And let's do another one from that record too, shall we? Ain't it hard when you wake up to find that you're wanted by the FBI? You find you're worth $10 million, either dead or alive. But you played it cool, hiding guns and an army in a mountain cave. And thought it a good idea to push a couple of buildings right out of the way. Meanwhile, back in the land of the free, home of the brave, fear marched in the conqueror, most all became his willing slave. And there goes Lady Justice, I hear a vicious rumor she's been raped. Her face is pale, scales up for sale. Looks like it was quite a scrape. Ain't it hard these days to be living with the name Yusuf Faye? All those black clouds on his horizon as he tries to hold sway. But history, you know, it's always got something to say. Don't you hear it whisper? All empire eventually fades away. Ain't it hard living in a world groping through the dark like through a crowded room? Stumbling over lessons rarely learned, how eternal furniture. Don't stub your toe on the Alamo in Chernobyl, wipe your shoes. Although it doesn't help, it's at least the polite thing one can do. And shit flies in all directions. The only thing left sticking to the wall is blame. Volleyed back and forth in the papers, the headline grabbing game. While the evening news tracks the whereabouts of the sun and wind and the rain. Always glossing over the thousands, parading by on the stage of the slain. Ain't it hard these days to be living with the name Yusuf Faye? All those black clouds on his horizon as he tries to hold sway. But history, you know, it's always got something to say. Don't you hear it whisper? All empire eventually fades away. And the gods of high finance once again take center stage. They're a walking tall, surrounded by the high priests of debts and profits, the ones who beat them all. And gluttony and greed take the stage to get thanked, but still get buried in a grave at the end of every age. With the whole world wired for combustion, no wonder some get blown away. And don't it seem like governments become the last best place for crime to pay? Lobby's a fancy word for fleecing sheep, the American way. The only penalty, a big handout from a smiling, wrist-slapping cop. Oh, why in stagnant waters must the scum always rise to the top? Ain't it hard these days to be living with the name Yusuf Faye? All those black clouds on his horizon as he tries to hold sway. But history, you know, it's always got something to say. Don't you hear it whisper? All empire eventually fades away. That one's called Yusuf Faye. That one's off the next record. And I couldn't help but think, I mean, I'm surrounded by music and books here. All the things that, without them, I would have probably gotten in a lot more trouble than I had already. Without books, without poetry, without the music. And without cars. Who doesn't love cars? Speaking of cars, I had to take off my boots, so this is now a sock hop. So feel free to join in at home or wherever you are. This one may not be as much of a dance tune. At the break of day, 1,000 more miles away, sleeps a beauty you once thought would be your own. And as the sun climbs ahead, and you ain't yet slept, you head on out to climb more bends in the roads of Rome. You take it easy round them curves, though you've never played them straight. Things unattended, you still insist remain unknown. And as your days slide into nights, you only chase one kind of light. It's in the dark, you never know, you're never home. So take it easy round them curves, though you've never played them straight. Things unattended, you still insist remain unowned. And as your days slide into nights, you only chase one kind of light. It's in the dark, you never know, you're never home. There's one of my shorter ones for obvious reasons. Just don't want to drag anybody too low with that one. And songs are kind of fun because they're kind of like flash frames. Some of them are. Like I still remember like the image in my head, the exact image in my head of this old friend of mine, Stacy. Her coat already on. And she puts her scarf around her neck when I tell her, oh, I got this new song. So she sits back down. She wraps her scarf around her neck, coat already on, and she sits back down. One more song and a cigarette, she says, then we'll be moving on. Her hands lay folded in her lap, but they start marking time to the song. All her song and all those eyes. The verses roll slow and open like storm clouds over the land. I gather a gaze knowing what's at stake. A Judas, but I'm still her man. Her eyes are two boats I climb on into and float down a river with a sigh. In the land behind those eyes, oh, those eyes. The chorus falls sweet like summer rains from heaven. I'm floating through her canyons of pine. A whispering breeze echoes through them trees, and it asks, baby, what's been on your mind? My own call echoes off red canyon walls from the land behind those eyes. Oh, those eyes. Oh, those eyes. I once had a motorcycle wreck halfway around the world, and if you you ever wreck a motorcycle, flip a motorcycle over a car on a seaside road, and live to tell the tale, maybe you can write a song about it. I don't know, I did. Well, I got one foot in the grave. My lips are still planted on the bottle. My bike's gone out over the rail. My hand still twists the throttle. I don't really see how things could get to be much darker. It's hard to look up with things falling down this fast. We love like cats at times, the claws get in the way. Other times I chase her like a dirty dog doesn't quit till he gets it his way. With time, the claws dug deep and now the scars show. Love can only come from the devil when it brings me down this low. The bottle crept back into the picture after the last big motor wreck. We'd start a fight, I'd jump on my bike and say, hold on, baby, I'll be right back. She'd get all dolled up, stilettos and stockings, and she'd get the glasses out. We'd make up over the bottle in the kitchen, on the table, anywhere there's room. She keeps a bag packed at the door sometimes. She fakes a break to take her bag and go. Other times she leaves, I can't call her back, even though she never walked out the door. But most of the time it's me who flees. I jump on my bike and I storm the seaside road. Over one such corner I flew, and that's where this song was born. So I got one foot in the grave. My lips are still planted on the bottle. My bike's gone out over the rail. My hand still twists the throttle. I don't really see how things could get to be much darker. It's hard to look up when things are falling down this fast. It's hard to look up with things falling down this fast. It's hard to look up with things falling down this fast. It's hard to look up. And I just saw a book title here that says, "But Not in Shame." Huh. How apropos. I see another one there. It's about Mother Teresa. So I don't... That one's not for her. That song's not for her. All right. Well, I'm Sonofmel, and we're filming from Globe News Superior, here in Superior, Wisconsin, with Kim and Jose of KTWH up in Two Harbors. And I do have a friend with me here, in case you haven't met her yet. Her name is Susie Stitch, and she is my silent backup singer. And she also wears hats well, and she models all my t-shirts well. And I also bring her along with me wherever I go, because she reminds me of all those who no longer sing, or maybe those who are no longer here. And then that reminds me of those who maybe saw too much while they were here, or who didn't see enough while they were here, or maybe heard too much, or didn't hear enough while they were here. And so I like to be reminded of all those people, including my own ancestry. So this is Susie Stitch, and you can find me at Sonofmel, all one word. My father's name is Mel, and so I'm a son of a Mel. And yeah, so I'm on social media, Sonofmel. My website is being revamped, but you can follow along on Facebook and Instagram at Sonofmel. And I think I got a couple more. I can't thank KTWH enough for doing these featured focus artists, because it really is a pleasure to take part in these and to be a part of this amazing scene here in the Twin Ports region that is fostered and supported and matched by such an amazing community of be it venues, radio stations, volunteers, record stores. Look where we are. We're in a record store. I mean, support your indie record stores, people, and your booksellers, because this is where it's at. This really is where it's at. So, that in mind, I started writing this song, I think it was 18 years before I met the woman that it was about. And it was largely left unfinished for 18 years until I met her. I've been told this ain't your first time. Coming out around this here far out old bar. And honey, I sure hope it ain't your last time. 'Cause sugar, I really like who you are. I followed you on the red eye out of Gainesville. I followed you when you got off near the bay. You took a late night taxi and walked out on that midnight Golden Gate. I'm overjoyed you lost your nerve. It ain't in the clothes you wear. It ain't in the way you don't comb your hair. It's all those sunsets I see in your eyes. And I hope you don't mind me saying you look like you've been around for a while, honey. And I mean that most sincerely as a compliment. 'Cause you see, a woman without trials, well, she lacks a certain style. That quite frankly you carry in spades. It ain't in the clothes you wear. It ain't in the way you don't comb your hair. It's all those sunsets I see in your eyes. Most of us fade into faces in the crowd. There's so many of us these days we hardly seem worth knowing. Mother always said, son, you are your only true fortune. Do yourself a favor, spend it wise. There's trouble wherever you go, 'cause there you are. But night has to fall before you can wish upon a star. But wherever you go, you can find friends who won't let you down too far. There's beauty in every falling star. It ain't in the clothes you wear. It ain't in the way you don't comb your hair. It's all those sunsets I see in your eyes. It's all those sunsets I see in your eyes. And that one's called Down Too Far. Now, most of these are off this record that Tom Fabjance and I are finishing up with a whole cast of characters on it. And here's another one from it called Kissing Eve. Sometimes the world's beauty fades away in walks, long shadow of doubt. He's got his hands on his hips in the broken doorway and asks, "Hey boys, what's this all about?" The traffic lights are stuck running green with green, and the traffic lights are stuck running green with green. And the grave digger wipes the sweat from his brow. He still finds the time to cry somehow. But the sky is still as blue as when Adam, he first kissed Eve. Though the flowers, all those pretty flowers, they now grow in rows. And the gardener, he's gone home. He's leaving the women picking leaves for tea. But somewhere Adam, you know, he's still out there, he's still kissing Eve. Ancient castle on a forward shore, built by an army here no more. Great battleships of today maintain the iron lore of war. The games we play never really change, though the faces and names of the players rearrange. Oh mercy, how these days are strange. Someone mutters as they beg for change. But the sky is still as blue as when Adam, he first kissed Eve. Though the flowers, all those pretty flowers, they now grow in rows. And the gardener, he's gone home. He's leaving the women picking leaves for tea. But somewhere Adam, you know, he's still out there, he's still kissing Eve. Yeah, Adam kissing Eve. Or Adam kissing Adam, or Eve kissing Eve, whatever's going on, let there be a whole lot of kissing going on. And this song started its life in an old imperial garden halfway around the world, in a city some people still call Constantinople, but it's really Istanbul. And this garden, surrounded by a 40-foot stone wall, is now open to the public, but it once belonged only to the Sultan and his family. And I was wandering through this garden with a friend of mine, and I saw all these old men and old women dressed in their best, and they were seemingly bent over the newly sprouting flora on the garden floor. And I asked my friend, I said, what are they doing there, Daphne? And she said, John, they're picking leaves and blossoms for tea. And it dawned on me then that, well, we've been doing that ever since we were given thumbs. And we've been singing songs and telling stories about it. Well, ever since we were given tongues. All the way back, all the way back, all the way back. All the way back to the garden, which you can find in every bookstore. I found gardens at bookstores. Like I said, I probably would have been in a lot more trouble without bookstores and record stores. It filled my mind with wonder, got me to travel the world where this song came from. Whether it's from a book, from an airplane or a train or a car or a record. Keep traveling. So roll on down the windows, boys and girls, and see the marvels of miles flying by. Feel the rough slapping winds of the wandering, and see how the air shines thick in greenery and charm and vine. For that road leads on, both winding and climbing and descending, like a hand across the curves of the lover's back, unseen, yet felt at the center of unthinking, a fawn in the fenceless fields of no thought. It's that fawn, you see. It's that fawn, you see. It's always that fawn, you see, which beckons you beyond the roadside ranch and on past that front corral, always filled with words and with waiting and with words. Some left harnessed to consider, some left harnessed to use, some words left harnessed to consider, some left harnessed to use. preacher is seen working overtime, and the streets, they are filled with meat. Traffic has taken a holiday. All are inside watching news from TV screens. An answer comes in from another time. Tries to ring but gets a busy line. An answer comes like the whisk of a broom. It's clean but gets swept into a dirty hotel room. But the sky is still as blue as when Adam, he first kissed Eve. Though the flowers, all those pretty flowers, they now grow in rows. And the gardener, he's gone home. He's leaving the women picking leaves for tea. But somewhere Adam, you know, he's still out there. He's still kissing Eve. And that's Kissing Eve, born all those shorelines ago and border crossings. But I think we'll bring it on home for the last one, since we're on the shores of this big lake. And one such traveling, I got homesick far away from home, and I started thinking about the seasons. I was living in a place where there weren't very many seasons. There were only 2, as a matter of fact. I started missing the changing of winter into spring and into summer and into autumn and back into winter. Well, I got one more for you here. Bring it on home to the shoreline. One more time, I'd like to thank Globe News Superior for hosting us today. The feature focus artist, I'm John Sonofmel, and this is being brought to you by KTWH 99.5 out of Two Harbors, Minnesota, just up the coast. And I said coast because this is the inland sea. And I figured the lake ice would be a fitting end to today's session. When I dream of snowbanks in a northern Wisconsin country morn, with ice on the trees and coffee in a black pot on the stove. and the trees are all covered in ice, and the snow it buries the ground, and the chimney smoke it marries the sky, and the one stream still a flowing, well, it heads right out of town. It heads right out of town. When I scream, I cry in memory for regrets and harms left frozen like the lake ice. But transgression's always fleeting, and no one ever leaves here untaken. And the winter sun shines but isn't warm, and the season is a mode of time that always falls, and the next one comes like a friend to hold your hand. And freedom, well, that's got nothing to do with motion. Out on the lake ice, be sure to wear some warm clothes. Out on the lake ice, don't get caught there growing old. May you find someone warm there to bring you out of the cold. Now out here in California, the weather's rarely cold. Some think it's the climate, but really it's 'cause of a woman I come to know. Long black night hair that parts the stars, wide open eyes that see right through to paradise. I want to take her home with me every night. And leave the lake ice behind. Out on the lake ice, be sure to wear some warm clothes. Out on the lake ice, don't get caught there growing old. May you find someone warm there to bring you out of the cold. To bring you out of the cold. Bring you out of the cold. And thanks again to Kim and Jose and KTWH 99.5 FM out of Two Harbors. And they're also streaming at KTWH.org. And you can find them on social media too at Two Harbors Community Radio. And I'm John Sonofmel, and stay tuned. They got more feature-focused artists coming your way. But here's their sign, to and. Thank you for listening to Two Harbors Community Radio and supporting your independent bookstores like where we are now, Globe News Superior, which is records, books. So come on down. All right. Well, man, if I would have, oh, that's right. Did I give you my CD, Tom? I didn't. I thought I did. Oh, that's foolish of me. Yeah. Hey.